Alrighty guys, we're back for some Selesnya rolls, and this is a Wilds of Eldraine standard brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to ya. Also, we do get that Discord link as well as that Patreon link down in the description if you're interested in joining either of those up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? Archon of the Wild Rose, 4 mana, 4/4 flying creature. Other creatures you control that are enchanted by auras you control have a base power and toughness 4/4 and have flying. Oh my goodness. So we got a whole bunch of ways to pack auras onto our creatures like Spellbook Vendor. A 2 mana 2/2, rockin' Vigilance. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 1. When you do, create a sorcerer role token attached to target creature you control. Now the sorcerer role is an aura, of course. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has whenever this creature attacks, scry 1. Beautiful, guys. Never underestimate the power of scrying in a deck that is trying to be aggressive. So, also ways to create more role tokens. We have Royal Treatment here. 1 minute instant speed. Target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. Create a Royal Role token attached to target creature, which of course is an aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Ward 1. Very powerful protection spell, especially in a deck like this that really values having auras on the board, huh? We got more auras, all for Audacity's very powerful card. Overall, guys, we've even played this outside of enchantment builds, and it's been quite successful, so love the card. Okay, also a very key component to this deck is going to be Calix, Guided by Fate. This is a 3 mana 2/2 legendary enchantment creature. Has Constellation, so whenever Calix or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Nice. Whenever Calix or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. Yeah, all 4 of them, I think it is going to be that important in this deck. Also, missed a card here on the top end. Brand new Yenna Redtooth Regent is a 4 mana 4/4 legendary creature. For 2 mana, you can tap this, choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. If the token was an aura, you get to untap Yenna and Scry 2, and then of course activate only as a sorcery. I don't think we want more than one of these, but yeah. If we had like 2 or 3, that'd be way too many 4-drops, but the one of, man, I think it's actually going to be really solid, especially paired with Calix. You can totally copy Calix. It loses legendary because of Yenna, and having 2 of these abilities popping off every turn seems a little bit disgusting, dude. Now, for the removal of the deck, we have a couple borrowed times. We have a Planar Disruption as well, and then all 4 Ossifications. Hopefully, the 14 basic lands over here is going to be enough. We got to at least see 1 basic land pretty much every game, so that way Ossification works out, because we're probably going to see Ossification most games since it is a 4 of, and for some reason, removal like Ossification loves to get slammed into the hand, so yeah. My paranoia of not seeing basic lands knows no bounds when it comes to Ossification, so we're rocking Restoration of Eiganjo in here, make sure we can grab those basic planes when we need it, but also just like a solid enchantment overall. The second phase where you get to discard a card if you want, and then you can return permanent card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped actually happens to be relatively decent too. So then when it flips into Architect of Restoration, also just a pretty powerful enchantment creature as well. So yeah, I think the 2 of is going to be worth it. Got more protection here on the top end with a couple Skrelv. I think it's going to be excellent in here. Protecting key creatures like Calix or Archon is just going to be really important, you know? Is that everything already, guys? Wow, look at us go, huh? Now, in the mana base, we do have a Seat of the Empire. We do have a good chunk of dual lands, and one of them being farmland. I do think the first couple turns of this build is going to be far more important than like that early mid game. So yeah, that's why only the 1 farm hand. Honorable mentions, guys. Like I said, my paranoia with Ossification and not seeing basics, that's why we don't have a Who Endures in here, but maybe we want it. I don't know. Maybe like we could actually pull this off with less basics, especially since we're rocking the couple restorations. But honestly, dude, I don't know. I think the 14 is probably going to be necessary. So yeah, no Who Endures this time around, because I just want more ways to remove the opponent's creatures with Seat of the Empire, since we're seeing a lot of aggro, right? And then out of all the decks to not include a Tale of the Ages, I actually think it's just going to be a little bit too slow for this build. But man, would it be cool to go ahead and copy this with Calix or Yenna, or just like continuously buff our creatures with a couple of these, man. I don't know. Maybe it should have made the cut just for funsies, but at the same time, what would we drop? I have no clue, dude. So, all right, just honorable mentions for a reason, right? Either way, guys, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked, and see how we do. Alright guys, what am I expecting from the build? I played a couple test matches with a little bit of a different version of this build, and the test matches were particularly bad. And that's why I changed up the deck a bit, so I think it'll be much better now. I'm really glad that I actually played test matches with it though, because the other one was not consistent. Okay. Opponent goes first, unfortunately, but I'd say that this is a keepable hand, right? Look, we got our basics right away too. So that's good. That's good news. Yeah, no, this is keepable. Eventually we'll have royal treatment. Yeah, unfortunately the opponent going first means that we might not be able to get the royal treatment open in time for some of our creatures, but all right, we'll start with that forest. We'll probably start with Kami of Transience based on the swamp, right? On turn 3, we have to anticipate them peering into our hand and probably getting rid of that Calix. Depends if we see that land next turn, though, too. If they think we're going to actually miss our third for a couple turns, then they might not hit anything, honestly. Oh. Opponent? Oh, there you are. Mishra's Foundry. Nothing for the turn, so this probably is like a go for the throat then, right? And if it is, it's better that they hit Kami of Transience. All right. It is down and on the table. Land off the top would be pretty good. Land for a couple turns wouldn't be bad, because at some point we're going to want to do more than one thing on a turn, so. You can imagine... Oh, Liliana, okay. That is... spot removal for Kami of Transience. Luckily, Transience comes back at some point. Something I forgot to go over when we were going over the deck. Nice, that's pretty good. Alright, let's get that Calix down. And get that ready for next turn. We'll get it above the 0-4 here and swing at that Liliana, hopefully. Although if we went Vendor, we could have kept open Royal Treatment. And yeah, keeping open Royal Treatment means we could have protected the Vendor for a turn. Oh, maybe that was the play. Anyways, something with the Kami of Transience, that bottom ability, totally works if you slam extra rolls onto... Well, there we go. Bouncing it back to our hand. Anyways, yeah, you can only have one roll on a creature at a time, so one of the rolls technically goes to the grave, which brings the Kami of Transience back, which is pretty cool. Works really well with the rolls in that sense. So they did nothing with the Liliana that turn, so they really like their hand. We're going to go Kami of Transience this time over the Vendor and keep the Royal Treatment open. We got slowed down pretty good here, unfortunately, guys, and it didn't take a lot to slow us down, which is definitely noteworthy. Duress. Crap. Crap. Right. Let's see what they take. I was going to say, do we play Royal Treatment now? But with the Disruption and the Ossification, they probably want to hit one of those. And since they didn't activate that plus on Liliana last turn, hopefully they're not going to do it this turn. But Ossification totally hits Planeswalkers too, so... So does Planar Disruption, technically. It would make it so that way it can't activate its abilities. But yeah, Ossification takes it off the board state. Either one works totally fine. They do end up hitting the Royal Treatment, actually, so that way they can ping the Kami of Transience, I guess? I thought with all this extra stuff, maybe there's a chance Treatment would have stayed. But honestly, keeping this extra stuff is pretty good too. If I would have just went Treatment, they still could have went go for the throw on top of it and still hit like the Ossification out of our hand. Yeah, nothing from the Liliana again, so that's good news, guys. We're just gonna go Transience number 2. Yeah, we're trying to actually establish something here, so over Vendor, I think Kami of Transience is the play because we drew that Audacity. If we didn't draw Audacity, it would have been Vendor. That way we had that something to do with that extra mana. But this was a really good draw because now we can buff both of the Kami of Transience. It, of course, feels like one of them isn't going to survive, and the one that they would want to ping is, of course, the one that we're going to be dropping that Audacity on. So at least the other Kami of Transience will still be a 3/3. And then it has a chance to buff next turn, too, so... Okay, it lands. Let's see. Does the Audacity hit that Kami of Transience? If so, we have a great swing at that Liliana. Cut down. Okay, well, this one at least buffs to 3/3. And let's see if they discard something. They must be... They really don't want to discard anything in their hand. Concealing Curtains, they have the 3 mana open. I don't know. Calix wouldn't be a bad... Oh, no, Sheoldred's Edict. Oh, we are really struggling keeping anything on this board right now. And what was it? It was just... It was Virtue's Adventure, -2 on Liliana, Sheoldred's Edict, and Cut Down. Luckily, Kami of Transience just continues to pile back into our hand. Archon's pretty good. I think since they're not doing anything with that Liliana, we're safe to just go for the Vendor here. Okay, they might be out of spot removal. If we have to discard anything, it'll probably be the Planar Disruption, but it depends. If they do plus the Liliana, then we'll take care of it next turn with Ossification. And then actually next turn would be a perfect example to bring back the Kami of Transience on the rolls then, because we go, well, it doesn't look like this is going to survive. Oh no! Oh no, mono black, why? The removal, it's too much. Luckily the roll still hit the grave, so we do get our Kami of Transience back to our hand. And some land off the top would be pretty good here too. Well, still nothing from the Liliana. Funny enough, Kami of Transience combats spot removal beautifully. If it was mana off the top, we would have just doubled down on Transience. No way! Oh my goodness, opponent. Bro, that's too much. That's too much. I'm surprised they're not powering up those curtains. I think we're finally going to see one powered up this turn. Because, yeah, instead of... Well, they could go Foundry and then use the Foundry ability swing for 4. But, yeah. Powering up, I think Archon of the Wild Rose is going to go bye-bye, guys. That way, if we do see the mana... Oh, Ossification, actually. Ooh! We drew the mana. Now we can start doubling down on creatures. I guess... Crap, we gotta take that Liliana out of the equation now, don't we? So it's gonna be Kami of Transience, Planar Disruption onto the Liliana so it can't activate anything. Brutal stuff, man. We have to do our best to keep up with this. Ooh. Depending on their top deck, nah, they just -2 that Liliana. If we don't take that out of the equation now, they just -2 that. I was gonna say like Calix, and then go Audacity onto Calix, start buffing that way. But yeah, no, we gotta stop the -2 at all costs. So Concealing Curtains, at least if they take something out of the equation here, at least we replace it. Now, hopefully we don't just end up seeing too much mana off the top. Concealing Curtains also has that anything here is great for the opponent. They don't like anything in this hand for sure, dude. Like this is a lot of firepower. Calix, yep. There's mana. Yep, okay. Okay, what we could do, though, is we could go Plains, Archon, and Audacity onto that Kami of Transience. At the very least. Okay, wow. Concealing Curtains, number 3. Oh, bro, we are in trouble. The Menace on these. Activate 3. If they see land off the top, they have Victory off the Foundry. right? Because they pay 3, they need 2 open. So land off the top, they would win. No, we could block with the we can block with the Archon, luckily. 5, okay. So we go Archon. This is insane, dude. Check this out. Oh, 8-6. All right. What that means, it comes down to their top deck, because we have 12 on this board, and they are at 12. So let's see it, buddy. Let's see it, huh? So if it is land, they could power up Foundry, full swing, and they could go Concealing Curtains. They have 11, but luckily we have the block with the Archon and the Foundry. Sheoldred! Holy cow, dude! Oh my goodness, what do I ditch? We'll lose the flying on the Kami of Transience anyways. If we do this, we draw, get the Transience back to hand at the very least. That was a good top deck. That keeps them in this easily, dude. Easily keeps them in this. If we go Archon, then we would have lost that flying anyways, so Ossification, that's good. That's good. We're down to 4 though. I think we're still gonna have to go Ossification onto the Sheoldred, right? Hopefully they don't have anything special for that. And then Seat of the Empire for one of their eyes. No, we're dead. We're dead, aren't we? Because all the menace. Well, GG opponent. We'll keep the blocker for the Foundry, but yeah, they can power up the eye, have us discard the seat anyway. So I guess if we would have doubled down on Kami of Transience. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, GG. Wow. The top deck ended up working out. Oh, we get to keep the seat. It doesn't matter. It's not enough to deal with all this extra menace, and we took a lot of damage. Dude, I'll tell you what, Concealing Curtains underplayed 1-drop, huh? What an absolutely terrific card. They also could have powered up Foundry, but yeah, we had the blocker there. GG, that could have been anyone's game easily, dude, easily. Overall, I'd say we were operating a lot slower than what the deck would have wanted to operate at, right? Those early turns of, I don't know how many turns we had 3 mana in a row, but it felt like a lot of turns. And at some point, yeah, we do want to be able to do multiple things on the same turn, especially when you're going up against a deck that is running Liliana. And at that point, probably more than one Liliana. So at any point there, we could have entered a Liliana lockdown, which would have been really scary too, but we really got to showcase the power of the Archon there and why it's in the build. The way that you just play it and then all of a sudden the opponent is sweating big time, dude. Big time. They probably had a lot of other top decks that they could have seen. That Sheoldred was beautiful, but they also could have seen another piece of spot removal because we know how much spot removal they had packed in, so probably was still a good chance of finding something that would have hit either of those creatures. So the best thing for us would have been if they would have just found a land. This is a good hand. And we go first. Wow. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is much faster overall. Although that last hand, I don't think that was a mulligan by any means. I think that last hand was still decent. It just took us a while to find the mana we needed. Get that Skrelv down, get that Vendor down. Mono, hey, what's up, Mono Red? It's been a second. I've been wondering where Mono Red's been today. For the last video I recorded too. Luckily, we have Skrelv's protection open for the Vendor. Beautiful. No attacks. And Calix next turn, depending on what borrowed time targets there are. But it's probably Calix. Keep the Skrelv open for protection. I think we can totally outpace Mono Red since we went first, dude. I think we can totally outpace them with Calix in hand too. Oh yeah. eventually find that Archon off the top now that Vendor's successfully on this board as well. Bloodthirsty Adversary. Okay, that's definitely going to get the damage through. I always double check Skrelv, even though I know what it does. I always double check to make sure that it doesn't like prevent damage when you block or whatever. It's funny. I don't know why I do that. Audacity's good, but Calix is better, right? Actually, Borrowed Time is probably the best bet, isn't it? Less damage overall. Actually, could maximize everything here. Let's skip the Calix. No, I changed my mind. That's a little silly. Let's get that Calix down. Let's get the ball rolling on this. No extra mana, unfortunately, for the Vendor. If we have to block and trade, then we will, but we're going to do our dandiest not to. I'd love to go Borrowed Time next turn and then copy the Borrowed Time with the Calix too. And if they target Calix, then obviously we protect that over the Vendor, I would say. Because they're going to try to swing this turn as well. Which I think we'll be able to take some damage here. You know what I haven't done yet, guys? I haven't tried to interact with the boards at all. Doesn't look like there's too much to interact with on this board. Wait. Something just happened up here. Did I eat a piece of candy off the ground or something? I don't know what I clicked on up there, but something happened. That's funny. A full swing. I mean, we got a great block with the Vendor. Oh, crap. They save some blockers. That's not terrific. But we will be able to get that Vendor pretty good. A pretty chunky Vendor here. If we go Audacity, the trample could be good. Make sure we get that through for the Calix, and then we won't have the Vendor's ability again, but at the very least, yeah, the trample's more important. Really? It was that easy, huh? I mean, they knew we were gonna copy. Maybe I don't blame them for this concede, actually. I guess, yeah, if they didn't concede there, maybe the concede would have happened after the Audacity came down. Were we really able to slow them down that much with just this board state? Maybe it's because they didn't hit their third mana too? I don't know, man. Yeah, Borrowed Time, just any amount of removal there, and Ossification would have essentially done the exact same thing in that scenario, right? And all we needed to do was copy it with the Calix, or if we weren't getting that damage through, if we didn't end up having that extra trample from the Audacity, then they would have blocked, and now they're a couple creatures behind. So yeah, no, I actually understand that. That would have been pretty hard for them to come back from, depending on what was in their hand, especially. Haha, dude, no green source. Do we try it? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We'll find the green source. We're fine. We're totally fine. Hey, there it is. Let's go. Okay, now that we have the green source down too, this is like a solid hand, man. No cut down from the opponent. That's really good. Okay, Razorverge, not bad. Restoration is good for the turn. Second Vendor is fine. Vendor, I wonder if we end up keeping the Royal Treatment open, or if we just activate Vendor's ability. Against the mere colors, we probably keep Royal Treatment open. Oh. Greed or not to greed? Well, the theme of this game has been greed, so let's keep the ball going, huh? We get a scry here too. Audacity. Actually gonna send it. No, okay, well, no, I'll keep it, Because we have double green on the board, which means next turn we could totally go Audacity, then when they try the spot removal, we'll go Royal Treatment. Graveyard Trespasser, okay. Yeah, we get over that pretty easily here with Audacity, which would be a good trade for them, so maybe we just keep Seat of the Empire ready, discard a card? That seems bad. That seems bad, doesn't it? Let's start with this. This would be a good trade for them, wouldn't it? Ah, jeez. We have Seat of the Empire, we have Restoration of Eiganjo, all the Eiganjo cards in hand. I guess we'll just see what they do. I mean, we attempt the swing. Ooh, Calix on the top. We will keep that on top as well, dude. If we do Seat of the Empire, nice, nice, they take it. Restoration will shuffle, so I guess we keep Royal Treatment open. That's a little awkward too. But also, like, Seat of the Empire is open too when they swing in, so we wanted to do it that way. I don't know what we would discard. I guess Restoration, but Restoration could be really good. Thin out the deck. They pass it. Oh my. It's to nighttime. Attempt the Calix. It's gonna be a counterspell. It's gonna be Make Disappear #2. This is still a really good trade for them, dude. And now we don't have Seat of the Empire open. But if we pass, we won't get the Scry. If they block, we get rid of their Trespasser. We draw 1, we get the Scry, get 1 damage through. I'm gonna go no attacks, guys. I just feel like at this point, I mean, they might attack with Glutton too. I feel like that trade is in their favor regardless of us drawing off of Audacity and everything. You know what I mean? Then again, they get life gain from... Oh, crap, dude. Oh, crap. Well, that's not good. I should have swung last turn. Oh no, they're going back up to 19. Oh no, guys, that's really bad. Oh, my heart is broken now. This probably wouldn't have landed. If they didn't play Gix, I mean, there's probably something else they would have had in hand, right? Oh no. I'm so sad. And they're exiling stuff too, so the vendor's gonna go bye-bye next turn before we can bring it back. I guess we play this Plains, I guess, just to have more land on the board next turn if we want to play Seat as a land. But yeah, the vendor's going out of the grave. Architect eventually flips, but we only have like one more a turn to try to deal with this Glutton now. Oh, you know, I don't even think they would have blocked. We would have just gotten some damage through there. We get a free Ossification for the turn. And I guess we will ditch one of the royal rolls. Right? Or royal treatments, I mean. I think keeping the Seat for a future Glutton would be good. So I guess that's fine. Getting rid of the Glutton's essential, though, for survival. And attempt the Archon of the Wild Rose. It lands. Treatment is open as protection. I'm pretty sure this is the opponent's, but, like, it could technically go either way. Oh, crap, dude. Oh, crap. That's gonna untap and force a block from us. Oh, no, guys, dude. This looks terrifying. We've been seeing a huge uptick in the amount of Gix's command being played, and it is a rough card to deal with, man. From the sacrifice to everything. Royal Treatment just doesn't get the Archon high enough. We are forced to block with our beautiful 4/4. Look at that. Look at that poor creature. That's a chump blocker for the turn. That artwork just does not feel like a chump blocker to me. Restoration flips next turn. Doesn't have haste or anything fancy. We'll have Seat of the Empire open, though. I guess we'll play the Forest. We have Seat, Treatment. It's too bad we don't have a better blocker for that Horned Whale. We can also start powering up some Murex tokens, start going wide for the swing, too. Oh, no, that does it. The Horned Lock Whales wrapping up this game for the opponent. We'll still get a block and get the Seat of the Empire down, though. But that's still pretty fun. Totally fine, totally fine. It's too bad we can't block with the 1/1/2 for the turn. That would have been pretty cool. Gotta pay the ward, too, on this as well. That's brutal, dude. Oh, they have a cut down for their 1/1. You know what? You can have my 1/1. Because just for funsies, I'll be playing the Royal Treatment on the Architect. There you go. Hey, good game, opponent. Brutal looking deck, buddy. I wasn't expecting Horned Locked Whale number 2, but I mean, it was heavily leaning towards the opponent after the, well, I don't really know when that started leaning towards the opponent. I think it was like the whole game pretty much, right? Pretty much. I don't know if there was like a turning tide there at all, so. All right, guys, we are 30 minutes in, making good time. We can totally get a couple more games in. Let's do this. Hopefully we can get a game where the Archon actually gets to stick and do a lot more. Okay, right? Yeah, we go first. I like it. We'll start with the farmland, because technically no turn 1 here. Going first is excellent. Hey, Generous Visitor. Kind of sort of mirror match, but not really, right? Two different versions of Selesnya enchantments. Honestly, even though like we're trying to do something very different than the Visitor version and like the Jukai Naturalist version, right? I probably should have put them in the honorable mentions anyways, to at the very least bring that up. Jukai Naturalist, nice. So Planar Disruption isn't exactly the piece of removal we'd like to have in hand here. No, we don't want to lose our only creature. Yeah, since we'd like to like Ossification that Naturalist away before they start popping off. Yeah, Disruption isn't the key against a creature like Naturalist, so probably just try to go up and beyond what they're doing. The life gain on the Naturalist is pretty brutal, though. Royal Treatment's probably a little better to keep open, though, right? Hexproof for Selesnya enchantment seems pretty good. We could have gotten an extra damage through with an extra counter, but it, you know, Calix for 2 mana. Yikes, dude, yikes. Actually, none of those creatures, realistically, is a great target for our one of Planar Disruption. Okay. Big damage from the opponent. They're going back up to 19. Let's see it. Oh, more mana. Oh, no. Oh, no, guys. All right. I guess, unfortunately, we have to take the Naturalist out of the attacking equation here. But they can just start copying with it next turn. We're in trouble. So we're just going to swing. And hopefully... Yeah, Calix copies Naturalist is most likely, unless they get some removal down, but we don't have more than one thing to remove anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Calix copy Naturalist. Audacity. Spreading out their eggs. Probably on the Visitor as well. No? Okay, they have 8 damage on the board. Is it going to be Ossification? Skrelv, okay. At this rate, we won't be able to get the damage we need through. So I wonder... First, let's see where they end up copying, because I'm pretty sure it's Naturalist. It could be Audacity, so they can set up for next turn. Yeah, because Naturalist can block. And then they can plug a counter onto that too. Go Skrelv counter, huh? Okay. Yeah, since we're dead next turn, we're just going to go maximum amount of damage here. Calix! Calix would have been huge, man. If I would have saved that roll too. Now they do have life gain here, unfortunately. But still, it would have been another extra counter there too. And then we get to copy the Planar Disruption now that so we take action. Planar Disruption, and we can take this Calix out of the equation. Guys, what if we survive? Because they go Skrelv, call Visitor. No, all they need to do is play one enchantment from their hand, and that's game. Catilda is not an enchantment. Guys? We take Skrelv out of the equation. Take that down to 1. They have 5 life gain here, though. Skrelv. Skrelv, guys, that would have been so good on this board state, man. Oh, no. So these can't block. They're going back up to 13. They block there, right? So we can only swing with Kami of Transience successfully. We can't full swing because then Calix dies. This forces a block. And if they block the Calix, gain the 5, then they don't die from the Kami of Transience. So getting the Catilda out of the equation. Oh, you know what though? No, they don't have 5 mana yet. So we take action. Planar Disruption. Guys, if we pull this back, dude. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're chilling at 1. Oh, it only cost 4 though. Oh, but it's gonna be a Weaver. And plus, all their creatures can't attack or block anyways because of Planar Disruption. So I guess we're safe for a turn. But yeah, that could have been really bad. Catilda from the grave cost 4 because of the Naturalist, so. Guys, I can't believe it. We call green next turn off the Skrelv, and it looks like we might actually get there. However, GG opponent. Oh my goodness, it was an Audacity chilling in the hand. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. That was feeling so loaded for the opponent, right? Like it just like one threat after another, and then just the ridiculous power level of Calix being able to take out creatures with just one piece of removal. Of course, against this deck, one of our Ossifications would have been so much better than our one of Planar Disruption, but this still ended up working out very nicely to slow them down. And then we got really lucky that it was just Catilda last turn. And then even if they brought this back, all their creatures can't attack or block right now anyways. So this Audacity easily could have been Ossification for them, but they didn't have, Weaver of Harmony doesn't have haste or anything fancy, so it's not like they could have copied, but they're still at 9. So if it was removal, they would have needed the extra for the ward. They would have needed to hit the Kami of Transience, right? Calix wouldn't have won us the game next turn because they're still at 9, so they just really needed a piece of removal in hand, and they did not have it, luckily for us, right? So, dang, dude, dang. 38 minutes in, let's get one more match in, huh? Getting all the XP, let's go. Feeling good. I feel like the deck is doing a thing, I would say. I feel like I built it to do more of a thing. Not like pop off necessarily, but just like, I don't know what I'm trying to get at there. I guess kind of sort of pop up. No, be like super explosive with that Archon. This might be a slow hand if we don't see our third. Let's give it a shot. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling like we're drawing pretty well. The deck consistency totally seems fine. Okay. Well, Calix isn't the greatest draw. That is 3 3-mana cards, 1 4-mana card, so we still have a couple turns to see that third mana, though, because at least we have our turn 2 Kami of Transience. Which, if it ends up being like a counterspell from the opponent, totally fine, man. Kami of Transience being countered by Make Disappear actually isn't even that bad. Because it'll eventually come back, especially with all these rolls being spammed out all the time, which is really cool. Opponent, are you there, buddy? Are you there? I'll go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent returns. Okay, the opponent has returned. They played a Soaring City. So I guess we go right into Kami of Transience. Like I said, counter on this, not too bad. Now we got our 3rd mana too. Beautiful. We'll probably go right into Restoration, honestly, over the Calix. How you guys feel about that? Fairy Mastermind, also known as Mary, apparently, as I was gonna say. New nickname found. Oh man. Raffine, huh? Wow. Okay. Been seeing a big uptick in the amount of Esper recently. I feel like I haven't seen Raffine in a while, though. We could get around that Raffine pretty fast. The ward is a little rough. I'm gonna go Restoration. Grab a Plains. Fortunately, we don't get a swing then. If I would have swung first, maybe, but nah. Not even worth it. They block, especially since we're tapped out. And this is mana value 2 or less, so we could just go for the ramp next turn, ditch a Plains. As long as Dennick doesn't come down. If Dennick hits the board, we gotta make sure we don't mess up with the Restoration of Eiganjo. Yeah, based on the Soaring City here, City of the Empire, 2nd Soaring City here, this is going to be Esper Legends. I've been seeing a lot more Esper, but I feel like a bunch of different variants, like Esper Control, I've been seeing a little bit more of. A recent opponent was Rockin' Void Rend, which I feel like is criminally underplayed. And that's, I guess, because it's all 3 of the Esper colors, but still Void Rend is something. Sheoldred comes down. Oh, buddy. Okay. Where do you guys suppose they pack this? Yeah, right onto the Raffine. Probably going to go for it, too. Extra counters. Borrowed Time can hit the Raffine next turn, but now I feel like we got to hit that Sheoldred, because they're gaining so much, too, and we're going to start being drained by it. See what we see off the top, because we could get like a free Ossification off the draw here, so. Archon, wow. Okay. Well, ditch the Plains, bring that back. A little bit of ramp. Not terrible. So if we go Calix, we could go. See, that doesn't seem great. Royal Treatment, go Borrowed Time. Borrowed Time, take Raffine. No, it's Borrowed Time, take that Sheoldred, and then keep Royal Treatment open. For when it comes time to give Hexproof, I suppose. Can't block in the air. We're in danger, guys. Hopefully we can get the opponent in a dangerous position here as well. We do go Royal Treatment this turn. Archon next turn could be absolutely insane. 5th mana from the opponent. Gonna be a wild match against a meta build here. Come on, opponent, don't double down. Yes! Yes! The Hexproof lands on that Kami of Transience. Restoration flips next turn. Are they gonna go for the draw here? They are, so nothing on the ground to block. If we go Archon, both of our cards get flying. Removal off the top would be ideal. We gotta hit that Raffine. Spellbook Vendor. Yenna could be good too, because if they don't remove this, then we can start copying the Borrowed Time. Archon, like, blocks in the air, but it could easily get removed, but it's also, like, so much extra damage, and I did ask for a game where we got to see the Archon do a little more, so you know what? We're going for it. It blocks well enough in the air, and we can start putting lethal damage onto this board state for next turn, so making our creatures must removes for the turn. Except now we don't have Royal Treatment open for protection, so we're probably in danger. Lord Skitter, 2 mana open still. Is it going to be that go for the throat number 2? if we block, then Seat of the Empire, we're going to be forced to block here, actually, because we're at 7. Wow, they did a lot of damage to us early on, huh? Yeah, no, we got to block. Let's see if they buff that Mastermind to a 4/3. And then we'll block the Raffine. Oh, we have a chance to take out the Mastermind. Take 3 down to 4. No Seat of the Empire from the opponent. We do have a massive amount of damage on this board state, guys. Okay. Vendor. Vendor's ability. Come on, guys. We're going for it. We're going for it, dude. Come on. Get that land off the top. It lands. Hey, let's go. What a final turn, man. Nice. That was awesome, dude. That's exactly what the deck was trying to do, huh? Archon of the Wild Rose. What a beautiful card, man. That was fun. All right, let's go talk about the build, huh? We're 45 minutes in. Is this a way to put Selesnya enchantments together? I guess so. It kind of sort of did a thing. What's this pack? Dominaria. I think I might have everything from Dominaria. I think I do. Yeah, I always forget if I do or not, but I loved that set. Okay, Selesnya rolls. Here's the deck list again, guys. We didn't get to see Yenna do a thing. We technically could have in that last game, but I risked it heavily just to see Archon of the Wild Rose do an even bigger thing. And it really did. It won us the game. The risk was worth it, but most of the time, unfortunately, yeah, the opponent's going to have removal. And so playing this out on turn 4 is totally fine if you're going to win like next turn anyways. However, it's probably better after you have like 5 mana on the board and you can keep some protection open with it, or you play it out on 4 as long as you have an untapped Skrelv that you could use that Phyrexian mana for as well, right? Have protection that way. Give that hexproof from a color or whatever. So overall, I like the deck. Restoration of Eiganjo actually did a thing in that last game too. Grabbing the plains. I know. Like the Ossification, it's usually gonna have a target land. You're usually gonna have your basic, especially if you do like what I did here and make sure I have like about 1/4 of the whole deck being basics, right? But like, is my paranoia founded on the Ossification, or should we go more dual land? Should we have actually played the other utility land with the Who Endures as well and dropped some of these basics? If that's the case, how often will we get punished for trying to play Ossification? I don't really know. I don't. Outside of that, if you really don't like that whole concept, you could go up like more Planar Disruption style effects too. That was fine. It actually did a lot today overall, didn't it? So, but I do think the 14 basics plus the 2 restorations, totally fine enough for the 4 Ossifications. You're not going to get punished too often. And if you do, then that's probably a really unlucky game for you, not seeing at least 1 basic on the board for them. So Calix was an MVP. It usually is, right? Kami of Transience was excellent in here. Yeah, pairing with the roll tokens and everything, keeping our hand nice and stocked, trying to keep up pace against all the spot removal and everything. Gorgeous card, dude. Love it. Audacity, obviously really good. Borrowed Time, yep. I loved everything. I just wish we could have seen that one of Yenna do a thing, but that's one of the reasons it's a one of too. It's like, it's for a select few games where it actually comes in handy, and so in those games in particular, I don't think Yenna on the board would have done too much, so yeah, maybe. Especially some of the games where we ended up seeing a lot more mana than usual. Also, 24 total land. I think that was fine. I don't think I'd go up. I definitely wouldn't go up. I don't think I'd go down to 23 either. If you do go down to 23, you would want to drop one of your top end probably. Maybe only play 3 of the Archons instead, and then maybe go up more removal, maybe like a second Planar Disruption. Still just a solid card that takes something out of the equation, dude. So I don't know. It depends. It really depends. What would you guys add or take out? Let me know in the comments. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.